254 families in an apartment complex facing a $50 million bill to stop it crumbling. Welcome to Top Place Constructions, where the boss, John Nassif, is hiding overseas away from his mess. The building watchdog says this development's a shocker.
Michael enjoys a game of building blocks with his kids, but he's no fan of the ones propping up his apartment complex to stop it collapsing. Do you feel like you're living in an unsafe building?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that you've got these pylons that are shooting through the car park, it's terrible.
Michael Jones bought this unit in Canterbury's Vicinity complex in Sydney's southwest 6 years ago for $770,000. But in 2021, serious structural defects were discovered. Now, every owner in this 254 apartment complex is paying through the nose.
The strata rates, they were $900 only 800 months ago, $900 a quarter. Now they sit at around $4,500, $5,500 a quarter. So it's like having a second mortgage.
Investing in bricks and mortar is supposed to be a safe bet, but now these homeowners' assets are practically worthless, while the bloke responsible is supposedly living it up in Lebanon. John Nassif, A Current Affair. You like? You know the man, you've seen his Lamborghini, and you've heard his catch cry.
Congratulations, Mrs. Nassif. Do you like?
John Nassif, the high-flying developer responsible for low-budget builds and defective apartments. Also wanted by New South Wales Police for alleged fraud offences, yet John Nassif remains overseas.
You're scum for what you've done to everybody. You've run away from your problems. It might have been great to be able to buy your wife a Lamborghini, but you've left everyone else in the point of destitution where they're worrying, are they going to have a home? And, it's time to live up to your actions and come back home and face the music.
Nassif's Top Place development companies toppled into voluntary administration, which raises questions about its ability to fix the defective building, which could cost as much as $50 million.
We haven't got an answer, but we're going to work as hard as we possibly can to see what help we can give to those owners. It's a shocker. Someone had to go and recover.
David Chandler is the New South Wales Building Commissioner tasked with holding dodgy builders to account.
I know while others have tried to deal with me by playing the player, I don't play the player, I play the ball. You got defects, you fix the defects. Simple as that.
Top Place directors have entrusted its voluntary administration to the little-known DVT Group. The small accounting and advisory firm is run by Anthony Resnick from a converted house in Western Sydney and at a second location in downtown Sydney from behind a nondescript office door, where we bump into DVT Senior Manager Chris Skiboveski. I'm Steve Marshall from A Current Affair. What if Mr. Resnick, is he available?
He's not here.
He's not here?
No.
Hey, why would Top Place choose your company to look after administration?
I have no authority to talk to you.
Have you spoken to Mr. Nassif? Mr. Resnick told the Sydney Morning Herald he understood John Nassif had repaid a $150 million construction loan to Westpac. The same loan at the centre of fraud charges laid against his lawyer daughter, Ashlyn Nassif. Did your dad tell you to do this? She's accused of falsifying pre-sales contracts for her dad's Castle Hill Skyview apartment complex in Sydney's northwest to secure the loan, which Building Commissioner David Chandler says is still outstanding. Where is your father?
The loan has not been repaid, and all that's happened is that Westpac sold the debt to an overseas investment company, and the debt it's still there, it hasn't been repaid.
Mr. Resnick ignored our request for an interview, so we visited his Harris Park office in Western Sydney.
I have this to give you.
This man handed me details of a crisis communications expert DVT employed that day. The expert later told us this gentleman has a disability and it was unfair to film him. Yet, hovering behind the door throughout this exchange was DVT manager Luke Coppin. I'm just trying to clarify the loan. We don't know if this man lives with a disability, but it begs the question, why was he tasked with fronting our cameras?
How did Top Place become a client here at DVT?
How you become a client, it doesn't matter.
When this employee starts getting agitated, Coppin steps up.
I'm just trying to clarify the Westpac loan
So
situation.
you can put that in writing to Chris, or you can call him, his number's there.
All right.
In a statement, the DVT Group said Mr Resnick was asked by the Sydney Morning Herald if Westpac were a creditor, and he said they were not.
So I suspect that there's a number of what I would call friendly administrators out there. They're not the big name professional people that need to be doing these big receiverships.
It's a baptism of fire for newly elected New South Wales Fair Trading Minister Anilak Chanthavong.
Creditors and homeowners actually have a legal right to actually change the administrator if they want to, and I encourage them to exercise that legal right if they're unhappy with the administrator that's been appointed.
Aggrieved apartment owner Michael Jones believes the state government needs to put its hand in its pocket.
Now they've got to be held accountable, and the government's got to be held accountable for letting them decide, letting the construction industry manage themselves.
New South Wales Building Commissioner David Chandler is turning the industry around, apart from a few stragglers.
David, do you expect to see John Nassif back in Australia to face some music?
It'd be good to see you come back, John, but that's a matter for you, because I'm not playing you, I'm playing the ball, which is I've got to clean up these companies and I've got to clean up these defects. So I'm really, I wish you well, but the defects have got to be fixed. As far as I'm concerned, I'm here to play the ball, not the player.